Hey guys, I just got back from my birthday trip to Milan and I want to tell you all about it as I get ready. So stay tuned if you want to hear about my trip. So hey guys, it's Becky and welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. Hello if you're new. I do lots of content every Tuesday and Thursday. There's a new video, everything from plus size fashion to beauty, get ready with me, vloggy type videos, just your classic YouTuber girly videos. I just love doing them. So I'd love it if you would hit that subscribe button down below. It is free to subscribe. And hello to my lovely regulars. Thank you for joining me today. So this is a little bit of a different video than I expected to upload. I know I promised to vlog Milan, and I didn't. Basically, my birthday, JP took me to my favourite restaurant and that's when I stopped tasting food. And I came down with, as you can probably still hear my voice, a really, really nasty cold. There is definitely something going around at the moment. I know a lot of people have been poorly, and yeah, I got it literally just before my holiday. I knew it was coming. I did do some pre-filming and you could probably hear it in my voice. Like I said, like I was getting quite nasal and stuff. But it wasn't until like I had the time off work when it always happens, doesn't it? It always happens. So also Milan and that whole part of Europe was going through a major heat wave. So it was 30 degrees every day in Milan. And me and JP kind of spoke about it and we kind of wanted to make the most of the trip still, because it was booked and we were going on it, whether either of us were ill or not. But with the weather and being poorly, it just wasn't the best idea to also include vlogging in that. Vlogging definitely like adds an extra element to a trip, where it just kind of takes up even more time. Oh, so sorry guys. See, this is this is a week later and I'm still feeling the effects. So yeah, I really wanted to vlog Milan for you guys because we had some really lovely things planned, but with this cold and the weather as well, it just wasn't the right thing to do for our trip. So I didn't vlog it, but we still had a really nice time, but we definitely had to kind of do things a little bit differently. We had like a siesta every day back in the hotel room. So we drove to Milan because JP lives in the south of France. So it's about a 3.5 hour drive to Milan using the new ABH Cosmic palette. It's really, really pretty. So we drove to Milan. It literally took 3.5 hours. It was actually like way quicker. It's like driving, for me it's kind of like driving to just outside of Manchester, I suppose, which is crazy to me to think that you can drive to Milan from where JP lives. So we were able to pack like a lot of stuff. I've like realized with age, I just want to pack more and more stuff. Like we had so many creams. We had like aloe vera, bug bite cream, just like body moisturizer, like foot creams. We had so many creams with us. Because obviously we were in a car, we could just kind of like take as much as we wanted, even though it was quite a short trip. So we arrived there on the Thursday and we stayed in the Ibis Milano Centro hotel. If you're on a budget, it's a pretty good hotel, especially if you are driving, because they do have a car park attached that you still do have to pay extra for. It's not included, but it was a pretty good budget hotel. We have stayed in Milan before. We stayed in a really nice hotel because we were only staying 2 nights off season, and we looked at staying at that hotel again and I think it was something like £700, which just wasn't gonna happen. So this, I think it was about 380 for 3 nights for peak season Milan. It's not like, it's not central, but it's still central enough. You're like a 5-minute walk from a really good metro station. The AC was pretty good. I had read some pretty gnarly reviews about the hotel where there had been some like theft apparently, but when we went there they had a security guard in the reception like the whole time. I think that's just kind of an issue with any tourist area, especially like Italy and Spain. There is a lot of pickpocketing and stuff like that, so they've obviously listened to the feedback and had got like full-time and it wasn't like a security, like a bouncer at the door or anything like that. So I felt a lot better when we arrived, and it was actually much nicer than I thought it was gonna be. And they had this really nice courtyard outside that everyone was like having drinks with in the evening, which was really, really nice, and we did that a couple of times. So we arrived on the Thursday and then went straight to kind of like the main area in Milan where the Duomo is. Took a photo, of course. That will probably be, I'll pop some pictures in when I talk about that. And there's like it's kind of like a Piccadilly Circusy type Oxford Street vibe, that area. Oh, you've got the Galleria as well, which is like the oldest like shopping centre in Italy or the world or something like that. That's got like all the designer shops in. You've got the first ever Prada, you've got Dior, Louis Vuitton, all of that is in there. But we went down to kind of like the main street where we stayed last time, and it's got we went into Calvin Klein because JP likes Calvin Klein. They had the sales on when we went, and he got some, I don't know, I'm being so in depth in the storytelling. He got some shorts for like 50% off in Calvin Klein that were really nice. I went to the Sephora there because that's the Sephora I went to last time, but it's really, really small. It's such a small Sephora. This is the main street going towards like the castle in Milan. Don't go to that Sephora. Don't go. There's bigger and better Sephoras in Milan than that one. But we did have a look around that. I got a couple of things, but not many because it was very small. And then we got a giant Aperol Spritzes. So there's a few little kind of like bars on that strip. They are tourist bars. They're expensive. You're paying for the location. You just have to accept it. It is what it is. They're obviously paying a premium for their rent, so you're going to be paying a premium for their drinks. So the small Aperol Spritz there was €10, which is a lot for Milan. An Aperol Spritz for like a regular size is like €5 anywhere else. But then they had like a medium, a large, and then they had like an extra large for €35. We did see another table with this like huge spritz on. They were all sharing it, and we said like, what's the different sizes? And to be honest, the medium and large, they looked practically the same. And if we ordered 2 large Aperol Spritzes, that would have been more than this huge Aperol Spritz. So we got the huge one for €35. It was amazing. We took some really funny photos. You even got an aperitif, like charcuterie board included in the price, which was really nice. That's a thing in Milan, aperitivo. If you buy a drink, you normally get some form of snack. Most of the time it's like crisps or nuts. But then I think if there's a large group of you or you're ordering like more expensive drinks, you sometimes will get something a bit more substantial like a charcuterie board. So that was really cool. And yeah, we obviously did pay a lot for the drink, but I think it was like worth it. Like we knew what we were going to pay, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that was really, really fun. But we did have tickets for the Duomo roof terrace. And then I was like, whoa, we need to like sober up a little bit because we're going to be on top of a cathedral in like 2 hours. So this is like a relatively new thing for the Duomo or the Duomo, which is the cathedral in Milan. It's really, really beautiful. And as I was like doing some research on it and booking tickets, found out that the Thursdays during the summer period, they have late night opening of the Terrace, which is like the rooftop of the cathedral, and they have some live music on the terrace as the sun sets in Milan. It was literally the most magical experience of my life. So if you ever go to Milan, really do try and get there have the Thursday evening there to do that, because it was like nothing I've ever experienced before. Like, it was so beautiful. And we were really lucky because the performers that we had were doing like movie classics. So they did La La Land, they did Aladdin, they did all sorts. Like, you would know the songs. What's the one where they're in space? I can't remember now, but it was so good. And it was really nice that it was like movie songs, because like you knew the songs, but the views were like insanely beautiful. It was just so magical. It's kind of like, it felt like you were in a movie. So highly recommend. And also, if you were worried about having to like take all the stairs to the top of the roof, there is a lift for the majority of the stairs. There is just a small part where you have to get to the top of the roof. So unfortunately, if you're in like a wheelchair or something, it is not accessible. That's just how it's like a really old cathedral, so they obviously didn't think about that when they were building it. But I think as long as you can just do like maybe 2 flights of stairs, you can do it. Because I was really worried, because I'd done the Notre Dame before and I was not doing that again. The Notre Dame was, it was awful. But yeah, I'm just doing quite a simple eyeshadow look today, just because I'm chatting to you guys about the holiday instead. I'm going to go in with that She Glam primer that I've been trying, and I actually really like it. I think it reminds me a lot of the NYX Marshmallow primer, quite a bit, to be honest. So after that, we were kind of like, okay, it's almost 9 o'clock. In Europe though, like, people eat a lot later. So I know in the UK we have quite early dinner time, but in like Italy, France and Spain, they definitely eat a lot later, so we knew we'd be fine. I'll pop the name of the restaurant down below that we went to. Considering it was a tourist area, though the price, you are paying for the tourist area, and again, like, that's not something that we mind. It's just like part of eating there. But I would say that this was quite a good, like, non-touristy, like, it was touristy, but it was good touristy food. Like, it was proper, like, traditional Milan cuisine. So I had osombuca, which is like a veal oxtail a stew with the Milan saffron risotto, which was so good. JP had carbonara, which he said was really good. But yeah, overall it was really, really nice. And it was a good, and then we had tiramisu, which was so good. Love the tiramisu so much. So yeah, the restaurant was really good for like considering the area we were in. Then the next day was all about shopping. So if you love shopping, Milan is a city for you. There isn't too much to do in Milan apart from shopping. If you know, there are a couple of attractions and stuff, obviously the Duomo, but you wouldn't want to stay a week in Milan. You'd want to kind of go to other places around Milan, especially if you're not in like big into shopping. But obviously I love shopping. So we went to, I can't remember the name of the area. I'll probably like write it down below, where all the kind of designer shops are. I think it's called the Design District. We started off there. We went into a little coffee shop, had a little cake and espresso. It was really good. And then we just had a walk along this street. Oh no, we went to a vintage shop first, actually. I'm going to write everything in the description box, just in case any of you are interested. The vintage shop was fine. If you're not going to go to an outlet like outside of Milan, it could be a great option, because the prices and the designers in this, it wasn't a vintage shop, sorry, it was a designer outlet shop, but like a small one. It's quite hard to explain. It's kind of like a TK Maxx, but only designer stuff. So we went there, and it's basically all the same stuff that you're going to get at the big outlet in Milan, but like less choice. So, and also some of the stuff was like a bit damaged, because it's a kind of a bit of a jumble sale type vibe. So some of the stuff maybe has some like scuffs and marks, which I don't think you would get if you went to like the actual the outlet in Serra Valley, which is like a 45-minute drive. Or you can get I think there's like a free coach or something that will take you to like the main outlet, where there's like Gucci, Prada, all of that. So it was fine. I don't think we'll ever go back there again, because we go to the other outlet quite a bit anyway. Then we went down the main street. I really wanted to go to Acqua di Parma and pick a perfume, but I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't taste anything. I couldn't smell anything. It was sad. We went in the shop, but you know, there wasn't really much for me to do, because I'm not going to spend loads of money on a perfume I can't smell. We walked past like Prada, Gucci, Armani, just did a little kind of like window shopping. We also went into what could only be described as like a Milan, like Fortnum and Mason type situation, where I bought my parents €20 marmalade, because they love marmalade. I didn't realise it was going to be that expensive, but it was fine. I want them to experience €20 marmalade. We tried it. I don't think I'd get it again. But it was a really fun experience. I also got some jelly fruits. And what else? This is going to be a long video. Oh, gosh. Then went down the main shopping street. So the main shopping street has like all your big, like your Zara, your Nikes, your Milan football merch shops, and the big three-story Sephora, where I did some immense damage. That it was so good. They had everything in stock. A lot of like rare beauty and stuff, especially if you want to buy it in store in the UK. Like, it's just really hard to find. So I was so happy when I literally got everything I wanted from Sephora. And we had to look in Nike, because JP likes Nike. We had a little ice cream because it was getting really hot. And then we went to McDonald's for lunch, because, you know, trying to be a bit savvy with our budget. And they do these mini calzones. They're so good, guys. I always think it's fun to experience other countries' McDonald's. And those little calzones from Italian McDonald's, yum. What else did we have? Oh, I had this like red pesto burger. It was okay, but it was a little bit dry, so I wouldn't get that again. But apart from that, it was all pretty good. It was just nice to sit down and have like a really icy Diet Coke. And then was a bit of a major moment. We went to the oldest Prada in the Galleria, and I bought myself a little purse. I really wanted to buy something from like the first ever Prada store, and I really needed a new purse. My purse I've had now, I think like 3 years, and I feel like, you know, purses, you get so used, it definitely needed an update. So I was super happy with the one I got from Prada. And also, if you do any shopping in Italy over 155 euros, you can claim tax back if you are a UK resident. So I did that. So you can like save a little bit of money, but you have to pay the money first, and then you'll get it back through the system, if I'm making any sense. I'm just trying to find the brushes I need. So treated myself to that, and then we went to Primark because JP loves Primark. So we had a little mooch around Primark. The Primark was kind of like another street away off the kind of Cathedral Square, but we just used like Google Maps just to kind of like find our way around. It sometimes was a little bit off, but you're never like that far away from it. And then at this point we were both really tired, and while the tube was like fine to get and pretty safe, I was just like, got this like Prada bag with me, and we were both really tired, really hot, so I was like, you know what, let's just get an Uber. And then they had Uber in Milan, but to be honest, the taxis were cheaper, and I didn't realise this when I booked my Uber, but it gives you an option to book a taxi, but I just thought it was telling me that taxis were cheaper, but there was no taxis out near me. But actually, if you book through Uber, you can book the taxi, and the taxis are just like the regular like city taxis, but they tend to be a little bit cheaper than Ubers. But Ubers tend to be like a really nice car, like a Mercedes or something like that, so you're kind of paying for the nicer car. But I'm really not worried about the car, I'm worried about the ride. So we got an Uber back to the hotel, and we had like a really nice couple of hours just like chilling at the hotel, scrolling on TikTok, watching some YouTube videos, little nap, stuff like that. We just needed it. And then we went to the canals, I know it begins with N, Narica canals. This area was so fun. There's so many fun parts of Milan that I still want to like explore more, but this is basically where all the bars are. Loads of students go out drinking there, but also loads of like tourists. It's just like a really like lively part of town around the canals. Very like cheap, like €5 Aperol Spritzes. Also lots of like cheap food places as well. So we had a couple of cocktails at some different places, and there's like people trying to like flog like fans and phone chargers and vapes. Like it's just kind of like a fun atmosphere. Highly recommend visiting that area. And then we went to this place called Pizzerium, which was like a Milan chain, and had a really good pizza. Again, I couldn't really taste mine, but it felt good in the mouth. But JP said his was really good, so that's good. This is a Rare Beauty blush, and they are super pigmented. So, and then we also got some ice cream afterwards, which was really good. The ice cream in Milan, so good. I know a lot of people are doing these TikToks saying like, oh, like if they just have the ice cream out in like trays and not covered, it's not proper ice cream. But I'm not being funny, but like it's like they say like even a bad pizza is still pizza. Like even if it's like bad ice cream, like it's still ice cream, like it's still pretty good. And like all the ice cream I had in Milan, even though some of it was in like touristy areas, was still like really good. So I don't know what those people are on about. And if I'm honest, I never saw like a super traditional like with the covered lids or anything. I don't know. So that was the first night. Then the next day was our like cultural day. JP really wanted to go to the castle. I was wearing Birkenstocks and my feet were at this point being torn up. So, and also I was still poorly, guys. I was still poorly, so I was struggling through. And yeah, cultural stuff is not hyping me up for the day like shopping did. But I was trying really hard. But the thing with this castle is it's like really out in the open, like there's no shade, especially when you're walking to it. It's very like, it's like dusty, in the sun situation. It was €5, but I thought the castle was going to be like going to a National Trust property where they've kept it like it used to be, but it was more like the V&A where they had like a whole area about religious stones. Like just like bits of rock. Oh. And there wasn't much writing about what we were looking at. There was a furniture exhibition, a musical instrument exhibition, bits and bobs exhibition. Like, it was fine. It was €5, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was a bit boring. We were both a bit bored and it was really hard to exit. You had to go through every part of the exhibition. We were like walking around and we were like, when can we leave? When can we leave? And it just kept going. And the only thing that was like really good about it was the AC. And also being inside the castle, you did get like really cool views and stuff. But yeah, it just really wasn't what we were expecting. So if you have a short stay in Milan, go look at the castle, but I don't know if I'd go. I definitely wouldn't go inside it again, but I don't think I'd recommend it like in general. And then we went to the gallery. Oh God, what type of art was it? It's like the stuff that Picasso does, begins with E, and my brain is just all fuzzy. I've got so many things in my brain happening right now. That was really good. That was €10, so a little bit more expensive, but like well worth it. Way like curated, like way better. Had an amazing view of the Duomo because it's in the square and they've got this huge like viewing platform where like lots of people were taking like pictures. We didn't do that, but they were having fun. But the art was really good, and they even had this area called the archive where they showed like the workings of the artist before they got to their like final piece, which I think was so interesting because everyone always says like, oh, like why is this worth like millions of pounds? And then like you see the process and like everything they've gone through to get to that final piece. It's just really interesting. So I'll leave that down below. That was a really good gallery. And then we had our siesta. And I did like get changed every night as well because it's just nice to feel a bit fresh. And then we went to this like TikTok viral pasta place where they make homemade pasta in the Brera district, which, oh my God, I want to go back to so badly. Like that was where all like the little boutiques were, and we never got a chance to even like have a look around that part of town. So we're definitely going to go back to Milan again. I don't know when, but probably like early next year maybe. But it was such a nice part of town. This restaurant though, you can't reserve a table. It is just like first come first served. There was a queue. It was a Saturday, and it was amazing. The queue, we were like chatting to people in the queue, so it moved pretty quickly because we were like entertaining ourselves. There was also like a bar like opposite the restaurant that you can buy a drink from and like drink in the queue, which is our little hack. So we had a little Coke while we waited, and then yeah, we had the food and it was amazing. But the cheesecake there, wow, that's what you want to get. The cheesecake was so delicious. And then we went and had a couple more drinks afterwards. But if I'm honest, like, I wasn't feeling like 100% still. So we did like call it quits after a couple of rounds. Just because, like, I wish I could have gone longer, because I know JP wanted to stay out for a bit longer. But when you're poorly, like, when you need to call it quits, you need to call it quits. Like, I like an early night kind of anyway, so... and then the next day, because it was the last Sunday of the month, Navigli, if I'm saying that right, the Canal District has a antique vintage market once a month. So we decided to take the car, drive there, because this was our last day. We were driving home this day. And it was really, really cool. Like, it was a huge vintage market. I will say that the prices are really high. Like, the prices are really high for the stuff. Like, you're not just paying, like, the price. You're paying a premium because you're buying it from Milan Vintage Market. So be prepared to pay above or barter. I don't know what they're, but we didn't buy anything, just because of, like, one, there was a lot of designer stuff, and with the prices they were asking, I need to see, like, authenticity. The prices, and I was just like, some of the stores are definitely selling fakes. So unless you have a really keen eye for authenticity, I don't know. Some of the stores were definitely genuine. Some of the stores were like half and half. Half the stock was real and half the stock was fake. So yeah, I would definitely, I don't know, I'll probably pass on most stuff, but it was so fun to look at. And then on our way home, this is where things went a little bit south. On our way home, we were thinking, like, where are we going to get lunch? We were potentially going to stop at Geneva, but by the time we got there, because it was a Sunday, restaurants, like, do shut. Like, that's one thing I always find weird, because, like, in London and stuff, restaurants never really shut. They're always kind of, like, they always have, like, tables open and stuff. So, yeah, I was, like, looking at TripAdvisor, like, some restaurant options, and I was like, babe, we're going to have literally 15 minutes to park the car, find a restaurant, and, like, hope that they'll, like, serve us. So we decided to go to our favourite place on earth, the Serra Valley Outlet Mall, just to go get some food. You can see where this is heading. So yeah, we were just gonna get food because they've got a Wagamama's, which JP loves Wagamama's, and there are, like, not many Wagamama's in Europe. So he loves going to Wagamama's. They've also got some other restaurants there, but we thought free parking, restaurant, and then we can just head back on the road. But of course, we get in to the outlet. Having to find parking was, like, horrific. The whole of Italy was there, and France. The whole of Italy and France were at this outlet. So it was really hard to find a space. And then we found a space. And they were like, well, maybe we should just have a quick look at some shops. Because I really wanted to get some new glasses. I haven't had an eye test in a really long time. So I really needed to get... I want to get some new frames. I need to get a new eye test in general. So there's a shop that sells, like, discounted designer frames. I did buy some. And then we ended up just, like, shopping, then eating, then doing some more shopping. And we didn't leave until, like, 4. But it's a great outlet. As I said, they've got, like, Prada, Gucci, Valentino. They've got so many big brands, as well as, like, your Nike, your Lindt Chocolate, Le Creuset. They've got all those brands too. But yeah, that was my trip in Milan. I hope you understand why I didn't vlog, but hopefully that gave you, like, a little bit of insight into the trip. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun to just kind of, like, chat to you guys about it. And yeah, hopefully this blocked nose goes away soon. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down below in the comments if you have any recommendations for Milan. We're definitely gonna head back there again, so if you've got any like restaurant recommendations or just like locations, places to stay, do let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.